Good afternoon everybody. I've just got back from Lister's BMW in Boston, having purchased this oil filter which I intend to pull apart for everyone's benefit, particularly with a view to seeing if this latest generation of filter has been designed in such a way that hopefully it no longer falls apart. Interestingly enough, the part number on the box doesn't correspond to the part number on the filter itself. And I suspect, although I don't know for sure, that BMW have been using this part number that's written on the box throughout the various incarnations of the filter. And my car is a 2016 M140 with the B58 engine, and the part number on the box here is 11427826799. So if we open it up, we've got the copper washer and a new gasket in the bottom of the box there. Okay, so this is obviously a genuine BMW filter, and the part number on the filter itself is UFI, who is the manufacturer. And it says on it BMW 7826800-01, and that is the same part number as I installed in my car when I changed the oil in the summer of 2022, so in other words last summer. I'm slightly nervous because the filter that I removed was the generation before this, and it was designed in such a way that it would very, very easily fall apart, to be quite honest, and I consider myself quite lucky to have managed to get it out in one piece. So the intention was to dismantle this brand new one and find out if they've rectified the problem, so that I'll know when I do my next oil change whether or not I need to be particularly careful when I remove the filter. So the plan will be to saw the paper element across the middle, and then just try and, by pulling at either end, see if it comes apart easily when it's not being held together, obviously, by the paper element. And then once I've taken it apart, we'll have a look and see whether or not these two ends are keyed in any more efficiently and effectively than they were on the previous incarnations of this filter. There are some other reference numbers on here which I'll read out just in case. It just says for B57, B58 and B56. Manufactured on the 9th of November 2022, so you can be fairly confident this is going to be the very latest incarnation, and there aren't any more after this. Made in Tunisia, which we already knew. And there is another reference on here, UFI, the manufacturer. It says 25.252.00. I don't know what those numbers refer to. Right, but hey ho. Okay, so the first test, I did say in my previous video that perhaps prior to installing the filter, it wouldn't be a bad idea to make sure that the two ends were locked in place. In other words, it had been assembled correctly, and to do so by twisting it. And it occurred to me subsequently that actually that possibly, although that's pertinent advice, I had rather uncomfortable thoughts that people might get hold of it and give it a real good twisting and of course damage it and then install it in their cars only to have it disintegrate when they removed it. So if you do test to see if the ends are locked by twisting it, do it pretty gently, obviously, and if you do hear any unexpected grindings or graunches or there's any movement, then for heaven's sake don't install it. Anyway, so that's a gentle twist and I'm not getting any movement. So let's, without further ado, let's cut into this thing. See what we find. Bit of a waste of 23 quid, but there you go. If it's going to save me 1,500, then it's worth it, isn't it? Or if it saves someone else a whole load of anxiety, then it's got to be worth it. Right, there we go. That's sawn through. Ah, look how easily it moves. They're not even bonded. So it just comes straight apart. and the keys on the end are identical. So this may be a new incarnation of the filter, but it's no different at all. How disappointing. Yeah. Oh well, that is disappointing. Let me shine a light on this and show it to you. So if I bring that up to the camera, hopefully without shining too strong a light on it, can you see the keyed areas, the raised areas are identical to what they were before. There's no sign of any melting of the plastic or any rough edges, in fact, from adhesive. And if I turn it around and look at the other end, same is true of that. Oh dear, disappointing. Let's, before we call it quits, let's just cut the end off and just have a look in here. Which was the end that breaks. It's this end. This is where it tends to come apart. Let's just cut this off and see if there's any sign of any change in here. No, it's exactly the same as the original filter. I suspect that they haven't changed these filters throughout the generations of them, to be honest with you. Again, hopefully I don't want to put too much light on that so that it messes up the camera. But can you see you've just got the little indent in the end? And if you look here, can you see how the inside edge of the filter is raised and uneven? I thought initially when I looked at the previous one that was the remnants of adhesive. I don't think it is. I think it's to do with the way the plastic is moulded. The inside edge there is just rough. And if we put that back in and locate it, that's located now. And if I shine the light through there, hopefully the camera will pick it up. See if I can get it in position. You can see that rough edge is on the inside face of the central tube. It's not adhesive. I'm pretty sure it's not adhesive. So BMW are relying totally on the fact that the two ends of the filter are keyed together. If I can get the thing to key in now, it doesn't want to. That's it, that's keyed in. And then the fact that the paper element is glued in place so that when you unscrew it and it stretches it, the paper is sufficiently strong to stop the bottom from pulling out. And I suspect that this filter is going to have the same problem as all the others. The paper will get a little bit weak. Undoing the cap will stretch the filter, it will disbond, and obviously it's only happening in a minority of cases, but it is still happening, and I don't think this filter represents an improvement at all. Very disappointing. Crikey, BMW, get your act together for God's sake.